Friends, this kind of stuff trips me out. I'm sitting here to film, and I need to film right over there, and look, there's one person literally sitting directly in the middle of where I need to film right there. There's no other people around. There's a guy walking up on this side, but you see on the other side of the street, there's one guy right directly in the middle of where I need to be. So friends, this right here is a spot of something iconic related to Elvis, and that is, this is where, in this little area right here, right beside this sign, I'm going to show you a photograph of it. Literally, the part that you walk on right there was over the top of the roof, so that means that the edge of it was right up against here. Check this right here out. This says B&H Hardware, but I want you to look to the right of the picture, right up here. I'm trying to use my thumb. You see that is a billboard. You can see the walking platform is over the edge of the building. And then look to the left of the building and you could see another building in the back. I'm going to show you where it was. That is right here. There's the billboard. There's the building that you see in the back right there. This, before it was B&H Hardware, was in fact Crown Electric, where Elvis worked as a truck driver. It was in this building right here. This is Poplar Street. And keep in mind that on July the 5th, Elvis worked here, and that night went to Memphis Recording Service and cut That's All Right Mama. And then the next morning, Tuesday morning, came back and worked right here. And then worked here for another little period of time until he was working as a musician, and it all happened right here. But some interesting things that we're close to are when Elvis first moved here, on the other side of that white truck back there is where his first boarding house he lived at was. Down there, where that guy's standing, right by that building, is where the photograph of Elvis at 14 years old on the bicycle. You could see that telephone pole right there is the one he got the photograph in front of the telephone pole on the bicycle. And then they also lived at a boarding house past that building on the left-hand side back off the road. We're going to go back there and see if there's anything left of that building. I don't think there is, but it happened right here. It was right there. And at the time, he lived on Alabama Avenue, which is right over there. Lauderdale Courts is on the other side. You see that tall building? That's where Lauderdale is. In fact, where the Crown Plaza is right back there, you can see the pyramid just to the right of it. Elvis's unit was directly on this side of the Crown Plaza. The Crown, of course, wasn't there at the time, but if it would have been, he would have looked out his living room window and been able to see Crown Plaza. That's how close it was, but he didn't live there at the time. He lived on Alabama, which is just on this side of that unit. So there's a street, Alabama Street, right over there. And that's where he worked at the time, or lived at the time when he worked right there. So friends, it is that time again. It is Elvis myth dispelling time. If you notice on the truck, it says 353 Poplar. You see on the building, it says 353. You will read that Elvis worked at Dunlop Street, Crown Electric. Not true. Elvis did not start working at Crown Electric until April of 1954. In the 1953 phone book, you see the Dunlop address. And that was an advertisement. This is the actual listing. You see it says Electric Company, Chaz W. Hope, President, Contractor, 475 North Dunlop. That was 1953. This is actually the building. You will see this in a lot of books and in websites saying that Elvis actually worked here. The 1954 book, which would have come out from information from 1953, was this. And you see it says Electric Company, Jazz R. Tipler, President, and Gladys Tipler, Contractor, 353 Poplar Avenue. What that means is when the Tiplers took it over, it was moved to 353 Poplar. It is not possible for a listing to be in the 54 book if they were at the other address in 1954. So Elvis never worked at the Dunlop address, and the Tiplers didn't own it at the Dunlop address. So now you know that Elvis worked in this building at 353 Poplar. It was owned by the Tipplers. Elvis never worked at the Dunlop address. And the way you could find the spot of it is look for that billboard right beside the Exxon station on Poplar. Yep, that just happened, friends. The Spa Guy dispelled another myth and showed you exactly where Crown Electric was and that Elvis never worked at Dunlop. Another piece of that Elvis puzzle.